How's it going, gang? Today I check out the Eminence Governor and compare it to one of my favorite Celestion Vintage 30s. Nowadays, there are several manufacturers offering their take on the Celestion Vintage 30 design. I'm not sure if the Eminence Governor predates the offerings from warehouse guitar speakers, for example, but the Eminence Governor was the first speaker like that I became aware of. Now, many manufacturers claim to have fixed the Celestion Vintage 30 by nerfing the mid-spike that speaker is famous or infamous for. Eminence don't make that claim though, and if you look at their website, there's a lot of cool information on there, including a frequency response graph. And I'm not sure if there's a standardized process between speaker manufacturers for making these graphs, but if there is, then Eminence are doubling down on that mid-spike, because yeah, that bump is huge. By the way, the Eminence website is full of cool information. If you look at the footnotes there's lots of information on how they made these graphs and what they used to measure that. And I wish every guitar speaker manufacturer had something like that, because it really makes the test engineer in me jump with joy. Anyway, as always, the speaker is going to go into my Marshall 1960 AV cab next to a Celestion Vintage 30 from the year 2000. Both speakers in this video are 8 ohms, and both will be mic'd up with modern Shure SM57s going to Neve 511 preamps. In the first part of the playthrough, I'm going to mic up the Eminence Governor in what is the sweet spot to me, and in the second part of the video, I'm going to move the Shure SM57 to the same position as the Vintage 30 is mic'd up in. That way, I'm hoping to get the best of both worlds, like representing the Governor accurately as what it could sound like, and giving a direct comparison between that and the old Celestion Vintage 30. I'll also be making IRs for you to download to make your own tests at home. And depending if the sweet spot on the Governor is the same as it is on the Vintage 30, you'll either get 2 or 3 to download. 1 for the Celestion Vintage 30, and probably 2 for the Governor. 1 in the sweet spot, and 1 for the reference position as the Vintage 30's in. Anyway, that's enough talking, let's get into it. Nope, lies and betrayal. I forgot a few things, my bad. I did the IR sweeps across the Governor, and I determined that, according to my taste at least, the Governor has the same sweet spot as the Vintage 30. That means that we'll only be listening to 1 position on the Governor in this video, which means a little less work for me, and just 1 IR for you. Also, I got one of these cheap Behringer ADAT interfaces so that I can add more audio channels to this recording. So far, I've just been using my Audient ID24 and my 2 Neve 511 preamp modules. And well, yeah, that interface is maxed out with 2 inputs. And yeah, now I could add a room mic, though I don't really see the point in this application, because 3 of the 4 speakers here are Vintage 30s and only 1 of them is the speaker that's being tested. But let me know, do you want a room mic? I can add one. I've got a few nice mics I could put in. And also, I can record my voiceover mic now too, so I can edit in my screams of anguish as I fuck up my own riff for the 46th time in a row. Now I think that's really all I've got. Let's get into it. Take 45. Fuck that one. Okay, I'm going to call it a night now. My hands are getting too cold. This is an unheated garage. I think it's about 10 degrees Celsius right now. And I'd like to blame my screw-ups on that, but that's just me. I'm just not a very tight player. I don't give a shit anymore. This is about the speakers, it's not about me. Yeah, I'm going to pack up, listen to this in post, and then come back with a conclusion and some final thoughts. Right, what do we think of the Governor? I like it a lot in fact, and to some of you that probably won't come as a surprise because I've pretty much liked every speaker I've tested on YouTube so far. I guess I'm easy to please. But in this case I didn't even expect to like it because I didn't like it in a lot of other YouTube videos I saw. And I found the FFTs that Voxengo Span deliver very interesting. I showed them on the screen briefly during the playthrough, and I've just paused that particular video track here to take a little closer look. We can see here that the low end is pretty similar. There's some minor volume differences here and there. And same with the low mids. In the mids, it starts to get a little different between the two, but they pretty much follow the same lines here. In the high mids, it gets a little more interesting here. The Governor shows slightly deeper values of certain frequencies here between 2 and 4K. But where the differences really start is at 5K. And if you remember 5K, between 5 and 6K, that was an important range for the Vintage 30s. The Vintage 30s between the year 2000 and 2003 had lower sound pressure levels between 5 and 6 kilohertz than any of the other Vintage 30s. And that made them sound very smooth and pleasant to a lot of people, myself included. And the Governor here has even less 5 to 6K than one of my smoothest Vintage 30s here. You can see here the Governor really falls off a cliff here at 5K. And if you look here, it stays at that level up to about 7 kilohertz, and the Vintage 30 kind of drops past it here. I find that very interesting. The Governor has less presence but more brilliance here. You can see here in the range from 7 all the way to 10 kilohertz here, the Governor has slightly more, and that makes them sound distinctively different to each other. I think they blend nicely. I would have liked to test more Governors because this could be an outlier. I don't know if that's typical for the Governor or Eminence speakers in general, but Eminence speakers unfortunately have become quite expensive in Europe, so I've only had this one, and this is in fact the first Eminence speaker I've been able to try. So yeah, the lack of 5 to 6K in that makes it sound very smooth on its own, but is this too smooth already? Will this work in a mix? I don't know. Somebody else is going to have to tell me, because I haven't mixed a song in years and I was never really good at that. I just don't think I have the ear for that. So one of you guys, download the IRs, check it in a mix and tell me what you think. That'd be awesome. So that's all I have on the Governor. If you liked this video, it was entertaining to you or informative in any way, I'd appreciate it if you could click the like button. If you didn't like this video, I'd love to know why, because I always strive to improve these videos. Yeah, let me know what you thought on the Governor in the comments. I'm interested to see what your take is. Yeah, see you next time. Bye.